Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is AJ, and welcome to the Blaque Edition Culture Blog. Um, Today is a very first episode. Um, gonna keep this thing going, but we're gonna in the root of the Blaque Edition is basically to have honest conversations about um, Black culture, Black relationships, just any and everything in the Black universe, everything in the Black culture, everything in the Black diaspora, and uh, today's conversation is probably going to be the first of many tough and uncomfortable conversations that will be discussed. So, um, how this conversation even came about? I bumped into a classmate a while back, and we were having a conversation, and she was asking me, "Oh, how you doing?" Just you know, exchanging pleasantries and everything. And uh, we hadn't seen each other since graduation. We graduated high school in 2000, and this particular classmate actually graduated from rival school. And so it was our first time seeing each other since we graduated. Our churches fellowship together. But we'd known each other a pretty long time, but it was our first time seeing each other. We're catching up, having conversations, and one thing led to another. We get into the conversation. She asked, "Hey, where's your wife and kid?" I'm like, "I don't have a wife and kid. I'm solo." At the time I was single, and she was like, "Yeah, you probably got." And then she made the comment, "Yeah, you probably got a white girl tucked away somewhere waiting on you." And the comment kind of struck a chord with me. Not that it not that it bothered me, but it was just the fact that she really didn't know me per se, and she was speaking on something of an assumption. And so we got to the root of that in conversation. So we start getting down to, she was like, "Well, I've never seen you date anybody, da, 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 I mean, I ain't, and then I was like, wait a minute, I got my phone right here." So I literally went through my phone and showed her every woman that I had dated. And she was like, "Wow." She was like, "You've dated some really, really beautiful Black women." I was like, "All of those women aren't necessarily Black American either." I was like, "It's a couple women from the Caribbean and a couple of Africans in there." And she was like, "Oh." And then just so happens, mind you, we're in my hometown. Just so happens, one of my former girlfriends just happened to pop up. And I kind of brought her in on the conversation, told her what we were talking about and everything. And she just jumped in. She was like, "Oh, I'll gladly come in." I'm like, I hope this is and I was like, "Oh," but like she kept it 100. She was like, she was like, "I've known AJ since college. Like AJ, like one thing AJ gonna do, AJ gonna love his sisters." She was like, "It don't matter what part of the world they from. If they are a sister, that's what he like. That's what he want." And and then she actually brought up something that I haven't thought about, that I haven't even it hadn't crossed my mind in years. There was a young lady that went to our school she was from Brazil. And I want to say she played volleyball. And this young lady was actually this one young lady was my height. She was a melanated Brazilian sister. Like, she was tall. I think her name was Sylvia. Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm wrong. Her last name was De Silva. Um, it's gonna come to me later. But her last name was De Silva. And she was like, AJ is she was like, AJ, she was like, I'm gonna be so honest with you. Like, she was like, I think AJ is afraid of white men. And he told me about something that happened in high school. And then my classmate was like, oh my goodness, I remember that happening. And so, you know, she really began to speak on how, even over the years she would wonder, like, is he married? Like, who, does he, does is his wife black? Is she white? Is he have biracial kids? Anything? And I still, I never been married, don't have any children, so that canceled out all of that. And so, like, we just got down to it, and I was like, why would you assume that I probably have a white woman stashed away somewhere? She was like, well, you're like a quiet guy. You're not like the stereotypical black dude, you just seem like you just don't mess with sisters like that. I'm like, but what makes no, I was like, but what would make you think that? She was like, I had never seen you with a black woman. I was like, even my first girlfriend was black. I was like, you wouldn't know that because you didn't go. I was like, we went to two different schools. Now, granted, we went to school together a total of two years total. We went to school together, sixth grade and ninth grade. That's it. And so, I told her about my first girlfriend and everything. And I showed her, I actually had a picture of her and I showed her a picture. She was like, oh, okay, she's cute. And I was like, honestly, I was like, there's two reasons why I stay away from white women. Now, mind you, I have no problem with people that do engage in interracial dating and interracial relationship because number one, you love who you love, you date who you date. You are going to date where you're celebrated, not tolerated. And that's all about inner self respect. You're not going to cling to one thing just because it is a quote unquote the norm to do per se. Hold on right quick. I gotta take care of something technical. Okay, I'm back. Um, you're gonna love who you go. You're gonna love who you gonna love. You're gonna go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. And here's what I mean by that. Um, I had to explain to her that right now it's kind of like a hot topic on all social media. It hasn't died. I know for a fact at least in the last 5 to 8 years. Um, even in, it hasn't died. I mean, this subject will not die. So I let me just come out with it. So basically, a lot of content, a lot of content from black women create women, black women content creators are always speaking on this particular subject. Why are black men always dating outside Arab? Why are black men dating white women? Why are black men dating Arab women? Why are black men dating um uh Indian women? Why are black men dating Asian women? Why are black men dating Latino women? And the thing that they tend to overlook when they ask that question is, have you heard a black man to the point to where he felt like he was no longer wanted by his race? Have you heard a black man, have you broken a black man to the point to where he's going somewhere for something that he wants and he's not getting in his own community? And I will admit, when I was in high school, I was a late bloomer. I wasn't quote unquote popular, but I got along with everybody. And I really didn't date nobody until I think I was what, my junior year, when I dated my first girlfriend, and I met her 2 weeks before the homecoming dance, and we went to the homecoming dance together, had a good time. But yeah, but like I've watched ladies my whole life, like, break dudes, and like, I don't know how to describe the feeling of these guys. And I watched it happen to people close to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, to watch a dude get broken down by somebody in his communities is something that's supposed to love him. Like, it's kind of painful to watch, to be honest. You know, and it's hard to watch. It's very, very painful, and to see that, and it kind of reinforces why, and it kind of reinforces a lot of assumptions and prejudgments that people outside of our community have specifically for our women. And it's hard to defend that, you know what I'm saying, when you see it everywhere, you know. And dating now is it's dating now has been it's a puzzle that you have to put together. You got to have the right pieces in the right place at the right time with the right person. And a lot of times you could have four pieces to the puzzle, and that one piece is the person. And that person that you with just never seem to fit. But somehow you meet this person that is outside the norm, but somehow they fit into that puzzle piece. And like like I said, me person, there's two reasons why I can't and won't um involve myself in interracial dating. One of those is that I don't feel safe with one. Well, I will say, I'm just going to say I do not feel safe with white women at all. Um, and one, there was an incident where a young lady that I graduated with in high school pretty much ruined a young man's life. And and to see a few other young ladies that was in also in my graduating class. There are a few other young ladies that they were dating black guys that I knew, and they had made false accusations. And mind you, Some of these young ladies went to my high school. Some of them went to, you know, high schools close by. And there was instances where it was a guy that I knew ended up getting put in jail because his girlfriend asked him for something. He told her no. All he did was tell her no. She took that so personally to the point to where she felt like it was necessary to make up an allegation and basically low key debo him into getting her what she wanted. And even when that didn't work, he simply just ended up breaking up with her and just moved around. And then that very next, I want to say 3-4 months later, um, he ends up meeting another young lady and they started dating and then they ended up married. Matter of fact, they're still married right now. So that was what, 20 plus years ago. But and then the other reason is that, well, so basically I don't feel safe around white women because of one, historical trauma that has posed danger on men like me. Two, I do not want to have to deal with all the cultural differences between my family, me, and the other young lady's family. That's too much. I mean, it's too much of a thing right now, especially the way the country is right now. Like, I just couldn't do it. And plus, it just doesn't, like, this is my preference. It just doesn't feel right to me. Now, if that works for you, like, you have all my respect, because it's just it's just too much. There's just too many things that I have to factor in the back of my mind before I can even have some type of peace in that relationship. Like, there's too much, like I said, that, like, the historical trauma, and then seeing incidents where people that I knew were being put in positions to where they're being incarcerated. They have stuff on their name. Allegations were made. Somebody's life has changed forever. This is stuff like that. And so me and my so those are 2 points that we talked about. And then also, I purposely made a choice to go to a HBCU. And one of the reasons why I chose to go to HBCU, or to attend college at HBCU, I attended Jackson State University and Langston University. And the reason why I chose to pursue my education at HBCUs was because, one, I wanted to get to the root of me as a Black man. And I found those roots through several history courses, talking with relatives, being in the region where my family's roots are. My family's from Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, for the most part. That's where my family roots are. Those roots expanded as families as the family migrated. My dad's side of the family is probably, yeah, my dad's side of my family is bigger than my mom's side of the family. Um, like It's almost like a spread chart, plot points. But I've just never, like, I just can't do something because I just can't date a certain person because it's trendy. That's that there's no genuine there is no genuine there is no genuine attraction in those type of relationships. And right now, it's like the trendy thing, right? Like in some circles, oh, it's a trendy thing to date a black guy. Oh, it's a trendy thing to date a black girl, or it's a trendy thing. Hey, black girl. Hey, black women. Yeah, let's go date us white men. Woo. It. There's nothing genuine about dating trends, if that makes sense. And so, I've just never been one to. I've just never been one to even explore that. The closest thing, the closest thing I made, the closest, actually, the closest things that I've ever came to possibly dating outside of my race was probably dating Latino. And but that particular young lady was Afro Latina. She was Afro Mexican. So uh, it's just how everything tends to work out. Um, like I just I'm mind you, these are my thoughts, my opinions, my preferences. Um, there is there is no there is no there is no what am I looking for? There is no there is no right or there is no right correct there is no correct race to date and correct race not to date. There's none of that. There's none of that. Um you either you either date or you either date what you like, or I mean you date what you like. Well, you date what you like. Point blank. Um and right now, what's not and so here so the other thing that's not being talked about is the why, you know, why black men are dating outside of their race. So let's talk about the effect of social media on dating. So a large part of why dating is the way that it is, especially in this country. I have friends that are literally all over the world, and we talk about, I mean, with me, I have more married friends than single friends, and a lot of my friends from college that are from outside of the U.S. I would say damn near 90+% clip, they're married. I'm talking my female friends and got female. I'm talking about my lady friends and my homeboys. Like I'm talking about friends from Africa, my friends from my friends from the Philippines. Everybody for the most part is married. And I often get those questions because of the things that come across algorithms and social media. AJ, is dating really that bad in the US? Is dating that bad in the West? And all I can tell them is that if you are seeing it and you're seeing things that disturbing, that is what you're seeing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie. But it's gotten that bad. But one thing that's not being talked about are the guys that get pushed into interracial relationships. When I say pushed into, you can't, like, so for the last 5 to 8 years on social media, there have been narratives by there have been narratives that have been put into the interwebs that, and the sad part about it, when you have beautiful women putting out these narratives are going to take on a shape of a whole, and the crazy part about it, a lot of attractive black women are putting out these narratives. I don't want to, when I'm out with my girls, don't talk to me. I'm getting sick of y'all approaching. Don't approach me at church. Don't approach me at the grocery store. Don't approach me at the gym. When I'm shopping at the mall, don't approach me. When a grocery store, don't approach me. If you see me walking at the park, don't approach me. And when you keep, and then it's almost like when one woman makes those type of videos, then you have others that are going to say the same thing. So when you have, then it's, then it's on approach, then it's leave me, then it's why are you trying to talk to me, why are you trying to talk to me? Forget approach. Then it was don't talk to me. Then it was I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you. Then it was we choose the bear. This is what beautiful black women are getting on social media and saying over and over and over and over. And then it's almost like they really believe that men don't listen to them, when that is very far from the truth. Like, that's very, very far from the truth. And one thing that has to be addressed is that you can't, and a lot of, and like a lot of ladies are not even looking. It's like they're making these videos and they're pushing this information out, totally oblivious to the chain reaction of what they're putting out. So it is now 2026. I noticed at the end of 2024, something was different. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I noticed at the end of 2024, something was different. Here's what I mean by that. So I started to notice that younger guys, mainly high schoolers, I started to notice that a lot of dudes it was almost like they were more focused on getting jobs. They're more focused on going to school, whether it be a university or a trade school. You know what I'm saying? And hanging out with their boys. Some some are going to the gym. That's what. Hey man, let's go get this lift in. Now, as a former high school athlete, former college athlete, former overseas athlete, I can see that. But like, to have that same drive at a young age, like, You leave, like you just spent 8 hours at school. Now you want to go to the gym. After y'all leave the gym, y'all go hang out somewhere before you actually go home. Like that's what these high school that's what these high school guys are on now. Like it's almost like they don't want to date. And then even for the young, even for the guys in my age group, and even the group a little bit younger than me, ladies totally forget if they're interested in dating some guys and they put out that particular kind of content, very guy you like that you are trying to aim for, 9 times out of 10, he's going to see said video with your face on it. And he's going to be like, oh, that's how she feel about men? You know what? I'm good. And that's what is happening right now. And the other thing, there's content where there's humiliation content. That's what I'm gonna call it. Guys are coming up to young ladies, basically tell these young ladies they're interested, only to be humiliated just for approaching. Now, rejection is one thing. Humiliation is a whole totally different animal. And so the younger high school guys see what older men are going through, and they're like, you know what? I see what OG is talking about. I see what Unc is talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna lay back in the cut. I'm just gonna chill. And when a dude is being rejected over and over and over and over, he's gonna have to reassess. Is it me or the people is it me or is it the people that I'm approaching? Is it me or am I saying something wrong? Is it me or am I unattractive? Now, the hard truth about that, it very well could be one of those things. But the sad part is we have to work hard. We have to work harder when when trying to engage in relationship. And so when when you're gathering the courage only to be shot down numerous times, and women are very quick to say, if you get rejected, just go on to the next one. That's easy for the person that doesn't have to approach. That's easy for a person that don't have to approach to say that. And now humiliation, guys being humiliated is almost regular, to the point to where women are now trying to, why aren't guys approaching? One of the reasons why guys are not approaching, they see what you say on social media. Attractive women are messing it. Attractive women that are putting out that kind of content are messing it up for the attractive women who don't make that kind of content, because guys don't know the difference. He don't know if you want he don't know if you one of the ones that like that kind of content and make that kind of content, or if you're a good woman just looking for a dude. And it's to the point to like it's to the point to where, you know what, I don't like what the women in my community are doing to me. I'm sick of it. I want something different. And now there's this thing called passport bro movement that has kind of taken off. Now, the passport pro thing really isn't a quote unquote new thing. Um, Let me explain why. Historically, since the Vietnam War, a lot of American soldiers did not, like, once they discharged, a lot of them did not come back to the US. Then there were some that went back to the US because they owned some stuff or had some stuff. A lot of them came back to the US, got their stuff, and then moved, back overseas, Laos, I mean Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, Philippines, Korea, Japan. And I would say over the years, the percentage of men leaving the US, and it's not just leaving for to date women from overseas. No, 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 no. It's just leaving, period. Because the way the country is set up, whether it's dating, whether it's racism, whether it's economics, like men just want peace. Men want men want to live a good life. You know, and that's pretty much what we want. We want to live good lives. Like, it's hard to deal with it's hard to deal with women who are always trying to be in competition with you just because they have a misandrous or a hatred attitude towards you because you're a man. Like, why in the world would you date somebody that is feels like they are better than you because they have certain stuff? And one thing that is one thing that has really hurt our community, that has pushed a lot of men out into interracial relationships. Not saying interracial relationships are bad per se, but there are reasons and causes why it happened, but nobody wants to talk about the causes. One of those causes is that men are tired of being verbally beat up by the women in their community. Men are tired of being hurt by the women in their community. Now, one of the first things that's going to be said, men hurt women all the time. Men hurt women all the time. And we do this, this, and this. It's different. Okay, men and women both get hurt. But at the same time, one group is in abundance. The other group, one group is in abundance and is actually desired by other cultures. That's the difference. One group is desired by all other cultures, and the other group is not as desired. The other group is, what's the word I'm looking for? The other group is kind of being watched, if that makes sense. And so when black men are at their boiling point, black men are expected to still stay loyal to the community that beats them down. And it's their own community. And to experience that kind of turmoil, And to see it up close, nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody can, and to be honest, I'm just gonna say the quiet part out loud. People don't care about black men getting hurt. They don't. Because if they did, the vitriol and the misandry wouldn't be prevalent if they did. And so when a black guy dates or marries a Latino woman, or dates and marry a white woman, dates and marries an Arab woman, or date and marry an Asian woman, he's called all kinds of negative things. He's called a traitor. He's called an Uncle Tom. He's called this. He's called that. He simply found someone that he identifies with. That's literally what it boils down to. He found someone he identifies with, somebody that's on the same page with him. The only difference is that this person is not from his community. That is the only difference. And the only reason why it is an issue is because the only reason why it is an issue right now is because the only reason why it's an issue right now is because, one, black women outnumber black men. And then you have to factor in that dating is competition. Nobody late, and a lot of ladies don't want to hear that, but it's the honest to God truth. Dating is competition. A guy expresses himself to the lady says yay or nay. Now, the competition is kind of flipped on its head a little bit because now guys are only reacting to women like the playing hard to get thing that was real big mid to late 90s, early 2000s. That's not working no more. That whole act like you like them and don't act like you don't, act like you don't like them, but you really like them. But then you telling them, get away from me, ill. And then when you see him with somebody else, like that's not working no more. Like guys are like, and then on top of that, when social cues are so mixed up to the point to where people are just like, I don't want to, this is like too much hard work. Like it is hard to decipher a woman that likes you from it is hard to decipher. And people like, oh, pay attention to the social cues. No. Social cues, people do stuff to manipulate social cues. And it is, oh, well, sit a certain way and look at this way and look that way. That don't work. And I'm saying that from personal experience. That junk don't work. You know what's the easiest way to find out if a woman like you or not? Ask her. Just ask her. Verbalize your intentions and use your words. It's not that hard. If I like you, if I like a woman and she's right there, if I like her, I'm going to tell her. And then if she lets me know the feelings is mutual, that's who I'm rocking with. It ain't no, well, I'm waiting for him to do this, 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 and this, and it has to be over here, and we have the sun and the moon has to be out, and the stars have to be over here. No, we ain't no. If I like you, I'm gonna let you know I like you. Just let it be known. And so a lot of sorry. Mm. Just let your intentions be known. And a lot of guys are going to spaces where they know who wants them. Point blank, period. You can't put out a whole bunch of content saying, I don't want to be approached. I'll take the bear. Don't talk to me. If you're not 6 foot and don't make six figures, you're chopped. I can't stand that lady that said, oh my God, if you're unattractive, you're chopped. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was that video was cringy to me. I'm sorry. That video was so cringy to me, but nonetheless, guys are going where they are wanted. It is hard to talk to somebody or be interested in somebody that's always trying to find a way to demean you and control you and not actually trying to care about you. But they want you to care about them. They want you to protect them. They want you to they want you to go all these different places with them, but they don't really care about you. What is a man supposed to do when he's rejected in his own community? Stay? That makes no sense. That's insanity. That's doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So when that new thing happens, he's happy and rewarded and he feels wanted because he is. This ain't got nothing to do with self-hate. However, let me preface my next comments by saying this. There are men that date outside of their race for spite. There are some. It is not all black men, but for some who have been hurt, embarrassed, traumatized, whatever. There are some that date outside of the race purposely for spite. Now, is it their right to date outside? Absolutely. Is their hurt and trauma justified? Yes. But to spite the women in your community for hurting you, is that right? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But nobody can hold women accountable, not even the rational women. Because the rational women are still trying to figure out, why is this even happening? First of all. Secondly, the rational women are like, you know what? I'm trying to focus on my relationship. So sis, get it. The only thing she don't get is a sis, get it together. She hey sis, you need to get that together. That ain't cool. And then she gonna bounce. But inter there's different layers to this whole interracial cake. That is a cake I'm not willing to take part in because that is not my cake. That is not my cup of tea to go with my cake. Um, yeah, it's not my cup of tea to go with my cake. It's just not. The young woman in my life is a Black woman. She's from Africa. And she asks me all the time, how are you not dating a beautiful American Black woman? I just never really got one that was about being with me. Now, me personally, I will not partake in interracial dating. That's just me personally. Will not do it. Um, I was in my younger years, I was kind of curious about it. And just by talking with a couple of young ladies, I was just completely disinterested because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you be like, oh no, this can't happen. This can't happen. Um, the hurt that Black men go through will push them into dating outside of their culture. And that is the honest to God truth. The hurt Black men go through is not talked about because, like I said earlier, a lot of people do not even want to address. A lot of folks don't. A lot of folks are under the impression that Black men don't have feelings and don't hurt when they actually do. And so, that is something. That is another something that has to be addressed because on social media, black women talk about their hurt all the time, and they get so much love and they're championed. Oh, you're so strong, sis, this and that. But Black men aren't given that same latitude and grace when they're hurt. They're pretty much told to man up, nigga, eat that shit and move on. That's literally what men are. That's literally what men are told. It's almost like it's almost like they're treated as if they're not even human, to be honest. But yeah, relationships in Black, interracial relationships or not. Me personally, it's a not. It's a no go for me. It's not gonna happen. Now, will I date a person of color? Absolutely. Will I? Well, let's just say I have a Black woman in my life. She's an African Black woman, but she's yeah. But will I will but the only I've only dated I've only dated women with melanin, if that makes sense. Like that's all I've ever dated. That's it. That's it. That is all. Um, different women from different parts of the Caribbean, Central America, South America, different parts of Africa. I talked with one Amerasian. She was Black and Thai. Black. I talked with a young lady that was Black and Filipino. But then I'm the young lady from the Philippines. Her best friend was full blood Filipino, but she was darker than me, or she was the same shade as me. Same shade as me, Filipino. Both parents, Filipino. Her mom was maybe a couple shades lighter than me. Dad, same shade as me. This man has this man has never left the Philippines ever. But we just got to respect people's preferences. If they choose to date what they date, just respect it. Men were not complaining when Serena married her husband. Men were not complaining when Eve married her husband. Men were not complaining when Tina Turner married her husband. There are a lot of things that have been perpetuated in the media when it comes to black men, but it's always a problem when a black man is marrying outside of his culture and his space. It's always a problem. People had a problem with Derek Luke being married to his wife. People had problems with people had problems with Terrence Howard being married to his wife. It was just a lot of different people that people had, and the main people that had problems was the women in our own community. And my whole thing is, how is it fair for you to complain about perfect example. I'm glad we're on this subject. Women will reject guys all day long. Then they will see some guy that they went to high school with 3-4 years later. He done went to college. He was an athlete. He go win a national championship, or he go play at a big time school. He's one of the best players in the country. Gets drafted. On his draft day, is either a white girl or some Latin girl on their arm. Then there's oh my goodness, I can't believe he first of all, you rejected him, remember? You can't have a problem with the woman that's with him right at this point, celebrating with him, and you rejected him. You have no grounds to speak on why that white girl with him, white girl with him at his draft party. Because you wasn't the one he chose to be. You wasn't the one that chose to be with him. You wasn't the one. You rejected him, remember? But when it comes to interracial dating, it is not about racial self-hate, even though some cases that is the case, but for the majority, it is about proximity and preference. Nobody's questioning Serena Williams. Nobody's questioning Eve. Nobody is saying a word. But when Bronny James, when he was in high school, went to prom with that white lady, at the time that happened, I was coaching high school football. When that came out, when that happened, the girls at the high school were losing their minds. And it was mostly the girls from his own community. It's about proximity and preference. This we'll continue this discussion at normal time, same subject. But thank you for listening. Very first episode of the Blaque Edition. And y'all keep it cool. And until next time, peace out.